Okay, we've talked about the anatomy of the bovine reproductive tract, females, both cows and heifers. Let's talk a little bit now about the physiology and what it takes in order for an animal to get pregnant. We all probably have seen cows in standing heat or standing estrus. We spell the estrus with a US if you've ever seen that in writing or in the literature. Basically, when a cow comes into standing estrus, she is signifying that she is ready to be bred by the bull. She's signifying that ovulation will follow shortly after. She is inseminated by the bull, and the hormone that makes her behavior change, and in order to bring that behavior about, is the hormone we call estrogen. That hormone has two basic functions in the cow. One is obviously a behavior change. The other, if you can see this depiction of an ovary with a developing follicle or egg on it. The other function of the estrogen is to cause maturation of that follicle or egg and bring it about to maturity. Shortly after standing estrus, a couple of hormones are released from the pituitary. These are called follicle stimulating hormone or luteinizing hormone together. What these hormones do is they cause that follicle, essentially it looks like a blister on the ovary. It essentially causes that blister to rupture and release the egg into the oviduct, where, as we've seen, that is the site of fertilization. Okay, it's kind of useful to know some of the other events that occur in the estrus cycle when we go to doing things like managing estrus, synchronizing estrus, things like that. As we've talked about, the estrus cycle of the cow ranges from, on average, from about 21 days in length. It can vary easily, two or three days either side of that, but on average, cow's estrus cycle is about 21 days. So after this egg is released, it's got one of two fates. It can either become fertilized, in which case all estrus behavior obviously will cease for the next 285 days. What develops on the ovary at that point is what we call a corpus luteum. The function of that body is to produce a hormone we call progesterone, which essentially holds her estrus cycle where it is for either the next 21-day cycle or, if she's pregnant, for the next 285 days. So beginning about day 5, we start to be able to detect this structure that we call the corpus luteum or yellow body. And as we can see, this red line here is the depiction of the hormone that is produced by that maturing and growing yellow body. Out here on about day 16 or 17, the yellow body begins to regress if she's not pregnant. Now, if she is pregnant, it continues to stay there for a period of time until the placenta can take over production of progesterone at about 5 months. But up until about 5 months, the primary source of progesterone in the cow, if she's pregnant, is produced by the yellow body. If she's not pregnant, right here at about day 17, a natural regression occurs, and progesterone is restricted. There's another hormone that comes in here. It's not shown here. This hormone is called prostaglandin. Not to be confused with progesterone, but prostaglandin is released by the non-pregnant uterus, and it signals the ovary that the uterus is not pregnant, and it signals the corpus luteum to regress and restart the cycle, at which point estrogen begins to rise again, and the whole 21-day estrus cycle resumes itself.